In the beginning of every creation, before stone was laid upon stone, before brush touched canvas, there was a picture, invisible to the physical eye, yet radiant within the chamber of imagination. This picture whispered its form into being. So it is with every human life. We are each one of us painters upon the canvas of eternity. Our brush is thought, our palette is feeling, and our strokes are the images we dare or fear to hold. Imagination is the workshop of the soul. It is here in this inner sanctuary that destiny is first conceived. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Your word is your wand." Yet before the word arises, there is an image. The spoken word clothes the picture in vibration, but the seed of creation lies deeper still in that luminous vision we secretly rehearse. What is the picture you carry? What portrait is etched upon the screen of your mind as you rise each morning, as you drift into sleep each night? Is it a picture of joy, of freedom, of overflowing good? Or is it a shadow woven with threads of worry, doubt, and fear? Pause for a moment, dear listener. Breathe softly. Let us step into this inner gallery together. Imagine a great hall lined with canvases. Upon each canvas appears a scene, the life you expect, the fears you entertain, the dreams you dare to cradle. The air is hushed as though awaiting your choice. For what you gaze upon with feeling, what you nourish with repetition, shall leave the gallery and walk upon the stage of your outer world. What you see within you shall meet without. What you see within you shall meet without. What you see within you shall meet without. Consider the artist. He does not merely splash color in haste, nor does he cry in despair when the first brushstroke seems awkward. No, he holds the vision steadily. He sees the finished masterpiece in his mind long before the canvas bears resemblance. And so he works stroke by stroke, guided by the invisible image within. And so it is with you. You too are an artist. The pictures you hold with faith clothed in feeling shape themselves in form. Your health, your prosperity, your relationships, your opportunities, all are but reflections of the living picture you dare to paint upon the canvas of your imagination. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman who longed for a garden. Though she lived in a city where stone and steel ruled the view, she would each night close her eyes and see before her a small plot of earth rich with blooms. She did not fret over how it would come. She simply entered the vision, breathing in the fragrance, feeling the cool soil beneath her hands. Weeks passed. Then one morning, she received word that an elderly neighbor wished to share her small courtyard space with someone who would tend it. The dream stepped forth as though summoned. The garden she had seen within unfolded without. This is the law of life. The outer world is but clay. The true sculptor is imagination guided by feeling and sealed with word. What pictures are you secretly rehearsing? Do you walk each day rehearsing scenes of lack of conflict, of illness? If so, know this: the universe is obedient. It does not question, it only delivers. If you send forth shadows, shadows return. If you send forth light, light answers. Here then lies the holy responsibility. To guard the pictures of the mind is to guard the very future. To paint with love, with faith, with radiant expectancy, is to open the door for miracles. Let us affirm gently together: the picture within me is divine and perfect. I paint with the colors of joy, abundance, peace, and love. That which I see within, I shall meet without. That which I hold within, I now behold without. The masterpiece of my life unfolds with beauty and ease. Take a breath. Feel these words not merely as sounds, but as living seeds. And as you move through this day, notice the pictures you permit to enter your inner gallery. When fear comes, do not fight. It simply replace the canvas. Paint again with colors of faith. When doubt whispers, it cannot be respond with a picture of radiant fulfillment, the dream already accomplished, the prayer already answered. Remember, you are not at the mercy of appearances. Appearances are but yesterday's paintings fading on the wall. Today now, in this holy moment, you may begin anew. What you see within you shall meet without. And so I invite you subscribe so that you may continue walking with us through these living pictures. Support this channel, and together we will create a sanctuary of peace where words and images weave a tapestry of rest, renewal, and radiant possibility. The gallery of destiny is yours. Paint wisely, paint joyfully, paint with love. Beneath every cathedral spire, beneath every bridge spanning river and sky, there first lay a plan, a blueprint unseen, lines upon parchment whispering what would one day rise in stone. Before the hammer struck, before the mason carved the form, was already complete in the mind of its architect. So it is with life. Imagination is the invisible architect silently shaping the contours of our days. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Imagination is the scissors of the mind cutting day by day the shapes of your destiny." Every thought is a stroke upon this unseen blueprint. Every picture, a wall, a window, a doorway leading into tomorrow. Consider the house you dwell in now. Once it was not brick nor timber, but an idea. An architect sat before a blank page and began to see, not with the eyes, but with the inner vision. He traced lines where none yet stood, drew staircases in the air, summoned sunlight into rooms not yet built. Long before the foundation was poured, the house was finished within. So it is with every experience you call your own. That friendship, that opportunity, that harvest of supply, they too were once shadows upon the unseen draft. They took form because imagination, the invisible architect, designed them. What design are you giving this architect today? Do you hand it blueprints of harmony, of plenty, of radiant health? Or do you slip it sketches of discord, of lack of fear? The architect is faithful. It builds whatever it receives. It does not question your order. It simply constructs. There was once a woman who lived amid constant discord. Quarrels seemed to follow her wherever she went, at work, at home, even among friends. At first, she believed she was cursed with unfortunate companions, but then she heard the teaching of the invisible architect. She was told, picture peace daily. Enter it in imagination as though you already lived within it. At first, her mind rebelled. But there is no peace here, she cried. Yet faithfully, she practiced. Each morning, before rising, she closed her eyes and saw herself in a room of calm light. She pictured herself smiling, conversations flowing with kindness, her heart steady like a gentle river. She rehearsed these scenes again at night until the vision grew strong. Weeks passed. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, change began. Arguments lost their fire. A coworker who once opposed her softened. At home, a sense of gentleness grew. And one day, she realized discord had dissolved, and she was living in the peace she had first designed within. The architect had received its orders and built accordingly. What then are you designing? Are you drawing walls of limitation, closing yourself in with thoughts of, I cannot, it will never be, there is not enough? Or are you sketching windows of expectancy, doors of opportunity, gardens of abundance where joy may bloom. The unseen builder never rests. With every picture you hold, with every thought you cherish, you hand it a new design. Let us pause here and affirm. The invisible architect of my life builds only according to divine design. I hand over blueprints of abundance, of radiant health, of perfect peace. Every thought is a stone laid in beauty, every picture a window opening to joy. My house of life rises in harmony, grace, and ease. Yes, imagination builds silently but faithfully. You may not yet see the walls rising, but the foundation is already poured. Do not abandon the site because it looks empty. Trust the builder. Trust the design. Hold steady the vision. For just as the house becomes what the blueprint declares, so your life becomes what imagination designs. What then shall you design tonight before you sleep? Will you draw the outline of your answered prayer? Will you picture the garden of your destiny blooming even while the ground still looks bare? Remember, the invisible architect is waiting. It waits upon you. Hand it the designs of heaven, and it will build them in your days. There is a quiet truth that moves like sunlight through the teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn. You cannot erase a picture, you must replace it. The mind, like a fertile garden, does not remain empty for long. If you pluck out a weed and leave the soil bare, another weed will soon spring up. But if you plant a rose in its place, the ground is occupied by beauty, and the weed has no room to grow. So it is with imagination. When fear paints its shadowy scenes, when worry sketches its twisted lines, we cannot merely cry, "Go away," for the mind resists the void. The image will remain unless we gently, firmly, lovingly place another picture in its stead. This is the law of substitution. Every destructive vision must be replaced by a radiant one, every shadow outshone by light. Pause for a moment and notice, what are the pictures that circle most often through your thoughts? Do you see yourself struggling, repeating old disappointments, expecting the worst? If so, know this: you are not bound to those images. You may take up the brush of imagination this very moment and paint another picture, one of harmony, of abundance, of divine health. Imagine your mind as a great garden. There are flowers of joy, blossoms of faith, trees of supply. Yet alongside them, weeds sometimes appear: worry, fear, doubt. The weeds are not enemies. They are simply plants left unchecked. Do not despair at their presence. Instead, bend low, remove them gently, and plant anew. Sow gratitude where once grew complaint. Sow hope where once grew fear. Sow peace where once grew unrest. Consider the story of a man who lived many years in poverty. His mind was filled with pictures of lack. Each day he said to himself, "There is never enough. Money slips away. Others prosper, but not I." These images were weeds, and faithfully the invisible architect built them into his days. His pockets were empty, his work unrewarded, his nights restless. Then at last, he heard a new teaching. See lavish abundance. Do not fight the thought of lack. Simply replace it. Picture wealth flowing to you freely as waves upon the shore. At first it felt strange, even false. How could he picture abundance while his table sat bare? But he persisted. Each morning he closed his eyes and saw himself walking with ease, his purse heavy with gold. He pictured opportunities opening his labors, rewarded his life overflowing. Day after day, he rehearsed this new picture. When the old vision of poverty tried to return, he did not wrestle with it. He simply smiled and said, "I have a new picture now." And he replaced it. Weeks passed. A forgotten debt was repaid. Then came an unexpected offer of work greater in pay than he had known. In time, doors of supply opened wide. The man who once dwelt in lack found himself clothed in plenty. Why? Because he did not merely resist the weeds, he planted new flowers. He lived the law of substitution. And so I ask you, what weeds have grown unchecked in your garden? Are there pictures of sickness rehearsed each day with worry? Replace them. Picture yourself strong, radiant, filled with vitality. See the light of health streaming through your body. Are there pictures of loneliness rehearsed in secret? Replace them. Picture yourself embraced in love, friendships, blossoming harmony flowing in every relationship. See yourself welcomed, valued, surrounded. Are there pictures of failure? Replace them. See yourself rising, accomplishing, shining. Feel the joy of success already yours. The mind will cling to whatever it rehearses. If you dwell on fear, fear roots itself. But if you dwell on faith, faith grows strong. If you dwell on shadows, shadows linger. But if you dwell on light, light floods the room, and darkness has no place to hide. This is the discipline of the soul, not to battle endlessly with old images, but to choose anew. To say, yes, I see the shadow, but here is the sun. Yes, I feel the worry, but here is the peace. Yes, I hear the doubt, but here is the faith. And with each substitution, the garden changes. Let us affirm together now, I do not resist shadows. I replace them with light. I do not fight lack. I replace it with abundance. I do not cling to fear. I replace it with faith. The garden of my mind blooms with divine pictures. Every thought is a seed of joy. Every vision is a harvest of good. My imagination is holy ground, filled with blossoms of heaven. Breathe this in. Feel how the very act of substitution lightens the soul. You are not at war with the old. You are simply stepping into the new. Remember, you cannot erase a picture, you must replace it. The weeds of fear vanish when you plant the roses of faith. The shadows dissolve when you light the lamp of love. The empty room fills with music when you choose the song of joy. So guard your garden. Tend it daily. Remove with gentleness what no longer serves, and sow with love what you desire to see. For the harvest will come, it always comes, and it will bear the fruit of the seeds you plant today. Imagination is a servant of immense power. It stands at the doorway of your soul, ready to clothe every picture you hand it with life. Yet like fire, it may warm or destroy, depending on how it is used. Florence Scovel Shinn cautioned imagination can be a faithful servant or a merciless tyrant. When guided by love, it builds gardens of delight. When steered by fear, it constructs prisons of shadow. Worry, she taught, is faith in reverse, the expectation of disaster instead of blessing. How many walk each day rehearsing scenes of misfortune as though reciting a script for calamity? How many spend the sacred currency of imagination on pictures they would never wish to see upon the stage of life? Let me tell you the story of a merchant. He was diligent in his trade-wise in his dealings, but plagued by a single habit, he constantly feared loss. Each morning, as he opened his stall, he pictured thieves. Each evening, as he closed his books, he imagined ruin. He rehearsed over and over again scenes of collapse, his shelves bare, his family in want, his fortune gone. At first, all seemed well. Business prospered. Yet the pictures grew strong, and the invisible architect obeyed. A shipment was delayed. A dishonest partner betrayed him. Sales dwindled, and at last, the very ruin he had rehearsed arrived at his door. Did fate curse him? No. He had cursed himself with misuse of imagination. He had prayed in reverse, for every picture deeply felt is a prayer, whether for blessing or for loss. And so we must pause and ask, what prayers are you speaking in secret? What visions do you entertain when no one sees? Are you building with faith or with fear? The misuse of imagination is subtle. A mother anxious for her child imagines danger at every turn. Her heart beats with dread. Her mind paints scenes of harm. She believes she is protecting, yet she is rehearsing shadows. A worker fearing dismissal plays daily the picture of rejection. He believes he is being cautious, yet he is planting seeds of dismissal. Worry is faith inverted. It is creative power turned against itself. And imagination being obedient will clothe even fear with form. But here this correction is always possible. Just as the merchant rehearsed ruin, so may another rehearse supply. Just as the mother pictured danger, so may she picture safety. Just as the worker saw dismissal, so may he see promotion. For imagination is not fixed. It turns wherever you guide it. Pause. Feel this truth: you are never trapped by yesterday's misuse. You may turn this very moment toward the light. You may release the tyrant and crown the servant. You may paint a new picture and watch it blossom in your days. Let us affirm, I release every misuse of imagination. I no longer paint with fear. I paint with faith. I no longer picture ruin. I picture supply. I no longer rehearse sorrow. I rehearse joy. My imagination is cleansed, uplifted, and consecrated to divine good. Take a breath. Let the old images dissolve like mist before the sun, for they have no power except the power you give them. Yes, imagination can be a tyrant if left unguided, but once claimed as servant, it becomes the most faithful ally. With it, you may travel beyond limitation. With it, you may build temples of abundance, cities of joy, gardens of healing. So be not afraid of imagination. Fear only its neglect. Guard it as you would a treasure chest. Guide it as you would a child. Direct it as you would a servant of great skill. And when next you find yourself rehearsing shadows, stop. Do not scold yourself. Simply smile and say, I choose again. I choose the light, and paint a new picture, one of blessing, harmony, fulfillment. For what you see within, you shall meet without. If you're resonating with this journey, share your reflection. Comment 1 if you've ever caught yourself misusing imagination through worry or fear. Comment 2 if you are ready from this moment to reclaim imagination as your faithful servant of good. There is a hidden river that flows through all creation, a current of supply, endless and free. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that wealth is not merely a material state, but a state of consciousness. True riches begin not in the purse, but in the mind. For before gold fills the hand, abundance must fill the imagination. Consider this: a tree does not strain to bear fruit. Its roots sink deep, drawing silently from the soil. The branches extend toward the light, and in season fruit appears in plenty. So it is with the soul aligned to divine supply. When your inner picture is one of fullness, your outer life blossoms naturally with opportunities, resources, and gifts. Yet how many imagine only scarcity? They rise in the morning rehearsing lack. There is never enough. They retire at night picturing bills, unpaid cupboards, bare opportunities denied. And faithfully, the invisible architect constructs walls of want around them. For the picture within is always the seed of the harvest without. But hear this truth: abundance is your divine right. You are not born to struggle to clutch, to fear tomorrow's bread. You were born to live in freedom, to walk in joy, to see your needs met with grace. Riches, said Florence, are not a material state, but a state of consciousness. The first coin is minted in the imagination, and from there, the treasury of heaven opens wide. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman who longed for financial relief. Her purse was thin, her table meager, and every thought seemed burdened with worry. One day, she heard the teaching. See your purse filled daily. Imagine it heavy with gold. Picture yourself paying with ease, receiving with joy. At first, she laughed. How can I pretend what is not true? Yet something within urged her to try. So, each morning she closed her eyes and held her small purse in her hands. She imagined it full, overflowing. She pictured herself opening it with delight, seeing coin after coin. She felt gratitude as though it were already so. Weeks passed. At first, nothing changed, but she persisted. She refused to nourish the old picture of lack. Instead, she rehearsed her new vision faithfully. Then came small beginnings. A forgotten payment owed to her was returned. A neighbor offered her part-time work. A friend gifted her a dress she had long admired. The purse, once empty, grew heavier day by day. In time, opportunities multiplied, and she lived in the supply she had first imagined. What happened? The picture within called forth its likeness without. The river of divine supply had always flowed. She had only opened her channel through vision. Pause now. What picture do you hold of supply? Do you see yourself forever striving, scraping, fearing tomorrow? If so, I invite you, release it. For it is but a shadow, a false sketch upon the canvas of your mind. Choose instead to see yourself dwelling in plenty. Picture your table laden, your purse full, your hands open in generosity. Picture yourself walking freely without the weight of lack. Let us affirm together, I see abundance within, and abundance clothes itself without. My purse is filled, my cupboards are full, my life is rich with opportunity. Divine supply flows to me freely, endlessly, without strain. I live in the overflow of heaven's bounty. I am provided for in every way with grace and ease. Feel these words not as wish, but as truth. For the supply is already yours in the unseen. You need only hold the picture until the form arrives. Do not be deceived by appearances. If the purse looks empty, it is but yesterday's harvest. Today, you sow a new seed. Today, you hold a new vision. Today, you draw from the river that never runs dry. Imagine now, see yourself in a home filled with light. Feel the texture of abundance around you, the richness of fabric, the fragrance of flowers, the taste of nourishment upon your table. Hear laughter, ease music of freedom. Walk through this inner palace and know it is yours. For what you see within you shall meet without. Remember, poverty is not a permanent condition, but a temporary picture. Replace it with the vision of divine plenty, and the outer form must change. For imagination is the artist, and the world is but the canvas. The picture of divine supply is already painted in heaven. Paint it now upon the walls of your mind and watch as the earth reflects it. Imagination is a sacred temple. It is not a playground for every passing shadow, but a holy sanctuary where the seeds of destiny are sown. To hold the right picture despite appearances is the discipline of divine vision. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her students, appearances are shadows. The picture within is the substance. Think of a lighthouse upon a stormy coast. Waves crash, winds howl, clouds obscure the sky. Yet the lighthouse does not tremble nor alter its beam. Steadily, faithfully, it shines. It does not ask the storm for permission to continue. It holds its light because that is its purpose. So too must you hold your inner vision. Appearances may rage, circumstances may thunder, but the picture within must remain constant, steadfast, unshaken, shining through the storm. Discipline is not harshness, it is devotion. It is the gentle art of returning again and again to the vision of truth. When fear whispers, you return. When doubt shouts, you return. When appearances contradict, you return. Each return is a stroke of strength, a building of spiritual muscle, a signal to the invisible architect that you are unwavering in your design. Let me tell you the story of a man who longed for healing. His body was weak, burdened with illness, and appearances shouted impossible. Doctors gave him little hope, yet he remembered the teaching appearances are shadows. The picture within is the substance. So daily he painted a new picture. He saw himself strong, walking freely, lifting his arms with ease. He rehearsed scenes of health, laughing, running, breathing deeply. At first, the shadow screamed louder. Pain, increased strength seemed to fade, yet he did not yield. "Hold the vision," he whispered. "Hold the vision." And so he did. Day by day, he saw health more vividly. He refused to abandon his picture. Weeks stretched into months. Then little by little change began. A day with less pain, a night with restful sleep, a step taken with new strength. The body, faithful servant of imagination, followed the command. In time, the man lived the very picture he had painted. He walked freely, radiant with health. What made the difference? Not resistance to illness, but discipline of vision. He held the light steady, and the shadows fled. And so I say to you, hold the vision. Hold the vision. Hold the vision. Do not trade your masterpiece for a passing storm. Do not abandon your blueprint for a temporary shadow. Appearances may shift, but truth remains. Pause now and ask, what vision have you been called to hold? Is it the picture of abundance, though your purse feels light? Hold it. Is it the picture of harmony, though discord surrounds you? Hold it. Is it the picture of health, though the body aches? Hold it. For the inner picture is the substance, and the outer world must eventually bow to its form. Let us affirm together, I hold the vision of divine good, unwavering, unshaken, undisturbed. Appearances are shadows. The vision within is the truth. I return again and again to my picture of abundance, peace, health, and love. I hold the vision. I hold the vision. I hold the vision, and the vision holds me. Feel the strength of these words settle within you like roots deep in the earth. Know that discipline is not effort strained, but love steadfast. You are not forcing reality, you are aligning with truth. The world may clamor, storms may rise, but your vision stands as lighthouse beam, steady guiding you to safe shore. Hold the vision, beloved soul. For the discipline of divine vision is the key that opens every gate, dissolves every shadow, and reveals the masterpiece already prepared for you. Life is a moving picture. What you see on the stage of your day is not random, not chaotic, not haphazard. It is the exact projection of the inner film running through your imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every image rehearsed within eventually plays out without. The imagination, she said, is God's sacred film reel, and whatever you persist in screening upon it will walk into your life as a scene. Think of the theater. The curtain rises, the orchestra swells, and actors appear on stage. But the performance you watch was not born in that moment. It was rehearsed. It was scripted. It was imagined first, and then it was given form. So too is your life. You are not a passive member of the audience waiting to be surprised by what will appear on the stage of tomorrow. You are playwright, actor, and audience all in one. You hold the pen, you inhabit the role, and you watch the drama unfold. And the most mysterious, most thrilling secret of creation is this: you may rewrite the script at any moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine an old-fashioned film projector whirring in the back of a theater. Inside, a strip of film carries pictures. The light behind the film throws those pictures onto the wide screen. The audience gasps or laughs, cries or applauds, all depending on the story. But the projector does not choose the film. The film was written. The film was cut. The film was chosen by a director long before the audience ever sat in their seats. So it is with you. Your life is the projected image, but the real is imagination. If you wish to change the picture, you must change the real. So many people try to edit their lives at the surface level, changing characters, rearranging scenery, repainting the set. Yet the true secret lies in replacing the film itself. When you rehearse new pictures inwardly, you change tomorrow's performance. Florence once told the story of a young actress who longed to stand on stage and receive thunderous applause. Yet at the beginning of her career, she was unknown. Casting directors turned her away. Audiences were few. Critics were cold. But she understood the divine film reel. Each night before sleep, she rehearsed a different ending. She imagined herself on stage. She felt the lights warming her skin. She heard the rustle of the curtain. And then most vividly, she heard the roar of applause, wave after wave rolling through the theater. She pictured the audience rising to their feet, clapping until their hands burned, calling her name. She did not simply think it, she rehearsed it. Night after night, the scene became real within her. And one day, life caught up to her inner rehearsal. The right role found her, the right stage opened, and the applause she once only imagined became her lived experience. Her story reminds us life imitates rehearsal. Whatever you persist in projecting within must by divine law be acted out upon the stage of the world. The truth is, you are always rehearsing something. Every worry is a rehearsal. Every complaint is a rehearsal. Every picture of lack, failure, or rejection that you play in the theater of your imagination is a rehearsal. And life, like a faithful actor, simply steps into costume and delivers the line you have written. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn warned against idle images. A vague order produces no result, she would say, but a clear and repeated picture stamps itself upon the subconscious, which must reproduce it. You may say, but I didn't choose this role. I didn't choose this script. And yet, if you search your imagination, you may find that you rehearsed it unknowingly. You worried, and the worry became the scene. You feared, and the fear walked into form. The good news is this: just as you once rehearsed unconsciously, you may now rehearse consciously. You may pick up the divine pen and write a new act. Take out your notebook. Write this sentence in bold, living ink I call a new scene into being. I now rehearse my life as I desire it to be. Now underneath, write one picture you wish to project upon your divine film reel. Perhaps it is standing in a new home. Perhaps it is hearing words of love. Perhaps it is receiving unexpected income. Be specific. Write it as if you are writing stage directions. Lights up. I walk across the marble floor of my new home. The windows stretch wide, sunlight pours in. My heart swells with joy. I breathe peace into every room. See how concrete it becomes when written like a scene. You are no longer a vague dreamer. You are a playwright crafting the next act. Remember, this is not idle play. This is the sacred theater of God. The imagination is not fantasy. It is the workshop of reality. Florence called imagination the scissors of the mind. Whatever you cut out and hold firmly within is passed to the subconscious, and the subconscious, like a master stage manager, builds the set, hires the cast, and cues the orchestra. When you recognize this, you stop rehearsing tragedy. You stop indulging in scenes of fear. You begin to hold yourself as a careful director, allowing only the pictures you desire to reach the reel. So now I ask you, what film are you running today? What reels are whirring in the back of your mental theater? If you dislike the picture on your screen, do not shout at the actors. Do not complain about the scene. Instead, walk back to the projection room. Change the film. Rehearse anew. This is your divine privilege. You are the director of destiny, the actress of faith, the audience of your own miracle. Every night, as you close your eyes, see the scene you long to live. Hear the applause, feel the embrace, smell the air of the room you wish to inhabit. Rehearse it faithfully, and know that the curtain will rise on that picture when the time is right. Speak these aloud with conviction. I am playwright, actor, and audience of my divine life. Whatever I rehearse inwardly, I see outwardly. I now choose only beautiful, abundant, radiant pictures for my inner film reel. The curtain rises on my highest good. Your life is not a random improvisation. It is a sacred drama. The divine spirit waits upon your word, your rehearsal, your picture. Florence wrote, "Whatever man images sooner or later externalizes. So choose wisely what you project. Choose joy, choose supply, choose radiant health, choose applause, choose victory. Rehearse it until it feels real. And then watch in awe as the curtain rises on the scene you once only dared to imagine." Imagination is powerful. Yet imagination by itself can fade like chalk in the rain. A picture alone may pass through the mind like a shadow, leaving no mark. What gives the picture its weight? What presses the image deep into the subconscious until it becomes a living decree, emotion. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that imagination clothed with feeling becomes irresistible. Without feeling, a picture drifts away. With feeling, the subconscious receives it as a command. Think of imagination as the pen. The pen may sketch outlines and shapes, but it is the heart that provides the ink. Without ink, the lines fade. With ink, the picture is stamped and permanent. This is why daydreams often pass without effect. They are outlines without ink. They lack the fire of emotional investment. The subconscious does not respond to vague musings. It responds to living vibrations. If you imagine with warmth, with gratitude, with joy, with love, then your picture glows. The subconscious takes it, embraces it, and sets about building it in the theater of life. Let me tell you a story. A mother once worried deeply about her son who was traveling far from home. She imagined accidents, dangers, and troubles, and her heart clenched in fear. One day she heard Florence speak about the power of imagination and feeling. She realized she had been rehearsing danger and investing it with a strong emotion of fear. She had been stamping false pictures into her subconscious. That night, she did something different. She sat quietly, closed her eyes, and imagined her son surrounded by light. She saw him laughing, safe, strong. She pictured his safe return, and this time, she allowed her heart to fill with gratitude. She felt the relief of his safety as if it had already happened. She whispered, "Thank you, God, for his protection. Thank you that he is guided and guarded." The next day, she received a cheerful letter from him. He was safe, happy, and thriving. The mother smiled, knowing that her emotional investment had shifted the scene. Think of emotion as currency. If imagination is the idea, emotion is the payment that seals the transaction. A store may set aside an item for you, but it is not yours until you pay for it. So it is with mental pictures. They are on hold until you pay with the currency of feeling. Once you have clothed them with gratitude, joy, or love, they are purchased in the unseen, waiting only for delivery. Let's try it together. Close your eyes. Picture one scene you long to live. Perhaps it is receiving a letter of good news. Perhaps it is holding the keys to a new home. Perhaps it is hearing words of love. Now breathe into the picture. What does it feel like to have it already? Let your body respond. Smile, relax. Let warmth spread through your chest. Whisper quietly, "Thank you, it is done. Thank you that this good is already mine." Do you feel how the picture grows alive when dressed in gratitude? You are no longer imagining as an outsider. You are rehearsing as the living actor within the scene. Florence cautioned, "The subconscious does not differentiate between good and bad, true or false. It takes whatever is impressed upon it. This is why emotional rehearsal is a double-edged sword. If you invest your worry, your anger, your dread with feeling, the subconscious treats it as a command. Have you ever noticed how worries seem to manifest quickly? That is because worry is highly emotional. You picture the worst and you feel it deeply. That emotional investment becomes a stamp. But just as easily, you can reverse the flow. You can choose to invest joy, gratitude, and peace. These two stamp the subconscious, and life must echo them back. If imagination is the script, then emotion is the music score. Picture a silent play actor's move, but there is no sound. Now picture the same play with a swelling orchestra, violins carrying every scene. How different is the experience? So too in your life. A mental picture alone is like a silent play. Add feeling, and suddenly the orchestra swells. The subconscious is moved, and the stage of life responds. Let us not treat imagination as a cold rehearsal, a lifeless drawing. Bring warmth to it. See your pictures until they glow. Breathe into them until they pulse with life. Wrap them in gratitude as if they are already delivered. Remember, you are not pleading for them to happen. You are rehearsing them as already real. That warmth of already mine is the secret of emotional investment. Speak these softly with feeling. I now clothe my pictures with gratitude and joy. Every image I hold is warmed by the fire of my heart. My subconscious responds to love, to peace, to faith. I feel my good as already mine, and so it is. A cold picture fades. A warm picture manifests. You hold the power to invest your pictures with the gold of emotion. Choose gratitude over fear. Choose joy over worry. Choose faith over doubt. Florence once said, "Gratitude is the law of increased complaint, the law of decrease." Let every picture you imagine be wrapped in gratitude. Let your heart stamp it with the seal of joy. And soon, what you feel inwardly will stand before you outwardly clothed in the same warmth with which you first imagined it. Imagination gives you the picture. Emotion clothes it in warmth. But one more element is needed to quicken it into form: faith. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Without faith, pictures remain as shadows, beautiful sketches but lifeless. With faith, they receive breath, light, and vitality. Faith is the unseen electricity that lights the bulb of your picture. You may have the lamp, your imagination, and the shade, your emotions, but until the current of faith runs through the room, remains dark. Switch on the current, and suddenly the picture shines with life. We are taught to believe only in what we can see, touch, or measure. Yet every great discovery reveals that the invisible holds the visible together. Electricity was once invisible, yet it powered whole cities. Radio waves unseen carry voices across the globe. The air itself, though invisible, is the very breath of life. So it is with faith. Faith is not a vague hope, it is the invisible substance, the raw material from which your pictures take form. When you have faith, you are not wishing for the picture, you are declaring that it is already here in the unseen, waiting for the curtain to rise. Florence said, "Man must have perfect faith in the supply coming to him at the right time. Otherwise, he shuts the door on his own good." A woman once came to Florence in despair. Her rent was due, and she had no money to pay it. She had pictured relief, she had tried to feel gratitude, but her fear overpowered her. Florence told her, "Speak the word of faith. Say, 'My supply comes quickly and easily under grace.'" The woman obeyed. She repeated the decree not with desperation, but with quiet conviction. She refused to rehearse fear. She began to walk about her home, declaring, "I have perfect faith that my supply arrives on time." The day before rent was due, a long-forgotten debt was repaid to her. The envelope arrived with exactly the amount she needed, no more, no less. She laughed aloud, realizing that her decree of faith had opened the door for the supply to flow. Imagination draws the blueprint. Emotion colors it in. Faith is the builder that says, "This house is already complete." It stands in the invisible, and I simply walk to its door. Without faith, the blueprint gathers dust. The subconscious waits for the command of certainty, but when faith speaks, the subconscious acts. Faith does not bargain. Faith does not waver. Faith declares, "It is done." Florence often gave her students decrees to build their faith. These were not pleas, they were affirmations of the invisible truth. Here are a few to speak aloud each day. "My good comes to me quickly, richly, and easily under grace. Divine supply is mine now. I walk in abundance. Nothing can be withheld from me, for God is my unfailing source. I rest in faith, knowing the picture is already complete." Each decree strengthens the current of faith until the picture glows with life. Hope is like waiting for the bus glancing down the road, uncertain if it will ever come. Faith is sitting calmly at the stop, knowing the bus is already on its way. Hope says, maybe. Faith says, yes. Hope looks to the future. Faith lives in the now. When you hope, your picture drifts. When you have faith, your picture crystallizes. The subconscious responds not to uncertainty, but to the firm command of belief. Faith grows like a muscle. Each time you choose to declare good in the face of appearances, you strengthen it. Each time you refuse to rehearse fear, you strengthen it. Each time you choose gratitude instead of complaint, you strengthen it. Soon, what once felt impossible feels natural. Faith becomes your first response. And when faith is your first response, miracles become your daily reality. Take one picture you are rehearsing. Perhaps it is financial supply healing, or reconciliation. Write it down as a stage direction. Lights up. I see myself receiving the letter of good news. Now underneath, write the decree of faith. This picture is already complete in the unseen. I now walk in it with joy. Say it aloud. Say it not as hope, but as fact. Feel the difference in your body when you shift from someday to already done. That shift is the switch. That is the electricity of faith turning on the light. Florence told her students, "Never ask for anything without faith, for you will receive only your doubt. If you declare abundance with your lips, but rehearse fear in your heart, the subconscious receives mixed orders. The result is delay, confusion, or partial manifestation. But when you declare with unwavering faith, the subconscious receives a clear command. It acts quickly, arranging the scene, moving the props, cueing the players. Faith is the director who says, "This is final. This is done." Imagine yourself standing before a stage, but the curtain is closed. Behind it, the set is complete. The actors are ready, the orchestra tuned. You cannot see it yet, but faith tells you it is already prepared. Faith allows you to stand calmly, knowing the curtain will rise at the perfect moment. Doubt paces nervously. Faith rests in assurance. This is your call now to stand in the invisible, to trust that your picture is already arranged. When the curtain rises, you will see what you once only believed. Speak these aloud with conviction. Faith is the substance of my pictures. They are real and complete now. I walk by faith, not by sight. My good is here. I declare with certainty all I imagine with love and faith must manifest. I rest in the assurance of divine order. It is done. Imagination gives the picture. Emotion gives warmth. Faith gives substance. Florence called faith the substance because it is the invisible material from which the visible is made. Without it, your pictures remain shadows. With it, your pictures stand solid as stone. So declare today, not as hope, but as fact. It is done. My picture is alive. My good is here. And you will see in divine timing that what you rehearsed in faith becomes your living stage. Imagination, emotion, and faith bring your picture to life. But there is another law, quiet and subtle, that must be honored, the law of non-resistance. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Whatever man fights, he strengthens." When you resist, you block. When you push, you create tension. When you clutch too tightly, you choke the very thing you desire. But when you release, when you trust, when you allow God to arrange the details, the picture flows into form with ease. Imagine a river flowing downhill. It moves naturally, easily, finding its way to the sea. But now, picture rocks piled in its path. The water backs up, swirls, and crashes against the barriers. It grows turbulent, restless, noisy. This is what happens when you resist. Your good is flowing towards you by divine law. But your fear, your forcing, your anxiety become the rocks that block the stream. Remove the rocks, and the water runs smooth again. Non-resistance is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is choosing to let God arrange the details. It is standing aside saying, "I trust the flow. I release the how. I allow the divine to move through open channels." A woman once came to Florence frantic for work. She had been declaring supply, she had been picturing success, but no door opened. She sat in Florence's office, twisting her hands, saying, "I must get this job. I must make something happen." Florence looked at her calmly and said, "My dear, you are holding on so tightly that nothing can enter your hands. Release it. Say instead, I do not resist. My good flows to me through perfect channels. The woman took a breath. She repeated the words. She went home, and for the first time in months, she stopped rehearsing worry. The very next day, a position was offered to her, one better than she had been demanding. She laughed, realizing her forcing had been the only obstacle. The moment she let go, the river of supply flowed freely. We so often try to play director, producer, and stage manager all at once. We imagine the outcome, and then we dictate every step of how it must arrive. But Florence taught, do not dictate to infinite intelligence the way it shall come. Your part is to hold the picture with faith and feeling. God's part is to arrange the details. When you release the how, you open the door for miracles. Channels you never imagined become available. Doors you never noticed swing wide. Hold your hands tightly clenched in fists. Notice the tension. Imagine trying to place a gift into those closed hands. It cannot be done. Now open your hands, palms up. Feel the difference. Now imagine God pouring light supply opportunity into your open hands. Say aloud, I release resistance. I open my hands. I allow my good to flow to me easily and freely. This is the posture of non-resistance, open, trusting, receptive. Non-resistance is especially powerful in relationships. When you force, plead, or demand love, it slips away. When you release, when you bless, when you stand in peace, love flows naturally. Florence would often remind her students, do not run after your good. Stand still, and it will run after you. Non-resistance is not passivity. It is active trust. It is knowing that your picture is already complete, and you need not force anyone to play their part. The divine stage manager will assign the roles perfectly. If resistance is harsh, like clanging cymbals, non-resistance is music like a flute, soft, flowing, effortless. Picture yourself walking through a day without resistance. The right people appear, the right words come, the right opportunities unfold. You are no longer forcing, you are flowing. This is not fantasy. It is the natural result of aligning with divine order. Speak these gently, letting them flow like water. I do not resist. I flow with divine order. My good comes easily and freely through perfect channels. I let go of the how, and I trust God with the details. Like a river, my life flows smooth and free. Right now, I invite you to pause and reflect. If you have been forcing, clenching, worrying, write one in the comments to declare that you are ready to release. If you have already experienced the peace of letting go, write two to affirm that you flow with divine channels. Your declaration matters. It is the first step of non-resistance. The law of non-resistance is the law of flow. Life is always moving toward you with supply, love, health, and opportunity. You need not force it. You need only open your hands, remove the rocks of fear, and allow the current to carry you. Florence wrote, man always receives what he prepares for, and sometimes much that he has feared. When you resist, you prepare for struggle. When you release, you prepare for ease. So today, prepare for ease. Release the how. Trust the flow. And you will see that God arranges your picture in ways more perfect than you could ever plan. Health, like wealth, is first seen in the imagination. Before the body can be restored, the picture of wholeness must be restored in the mind. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, disease is only a false picture impressed upon the subconscious. Hold to the picture of health, and the body must reflect it. The body is a faithful screen projecting whatever film is running in the mind. If the reel is one of fear, decline, or disease, the screen shows it. But if the reel is filled with light, vitality, and perfection, the screen must reflect that too. Imagine a mirror covered with smoke. The face behind the smoke is unchanged, but the reflection appears dim, distorted. Disease is like smoke. It does not change the true radiant pattern of health God created within you. It only clouds the mirror. Your task is not to create health, it is already yours. Your task is to clear the smoke, to hold fast to the true picture, to refuse to rehearse the false image. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe slowly. Imagine your body as a temple filled with radiant light. See a golden glow moving through every cell, every nerve, every organ. Feel warmth spreading through your skin, your heart, your breath. Whisper, I am whole. I am radiant. Every cell shines with divine life. Do you feel how the body responds, softening, brightening, even as you imagine it? This is not fantasy. This is creation at work. The subconscious responds to the picture of health, and the body follows. Florence once shared the story of a man who had been given a dire diagnosis. Doctors told him his condition was beyond repair. He could have rehearsed the picture of decline. He could have rehearsed fear. Instead, he rehearsed vitality. Every day, he imagined himself walking with strength, laughing with friends, enjoying perfect health. He pictured himself running up a hill, his lungs full, his body strong. At first, it seemed absurd. His body was weak, his symptoms loud, but he persisted. He held the picture with faith, clothed it with gratitude, stamped it with certainty. In time, his body shifted. Symptoms vanished. Doctors were baffled. Yet he knew the healing had begun in imagination long before it appeared in form. Florence reminded her students, within each person is the divine pattern of perfect health. No matter the appearance, that pattern remains. It cannot be destroyed. When you imagine yourself sick, weak, or broken, you are rehearsing a false picture. When you imagine yourself radiant, strong, and whole, you are aligning with the true pattern. This is why Jesus often said, "Be it unto you according to your faith." The body obeys the picture impressed upon the subconscious. Healing is not only about picturing wholeness, it is also about refusing the false picture. Florence advised her students never to rehearse illness with words. Do not claim it as my arthritis or my condition. Words stamp the subconscious as surely as pictures. Instead, speak life. Divine life flows through me. I am strong, whole, and free. Even if appearances shout otherwise, continue to hold to the true picture. The subconscious will eventually erase the false real and project only the picture of wholeness. Stand before a mirror. Look into your own eyes. Say aloud, I see only the radiant pattern of health. Every cell is filled with divine life. Picture your reflection glowing, vibrant, strong. This exercise may feel unusual at first, but the subconscious responds powerfully to mirrored declarations. You are rehearsing a new film for the body to project. Healing is not only visual, it can be felt, even heard. Imagine the sound of laughter echoing through your body. Imagine the rhythm of your heart beating strong and steady. Imagine the voice of gratitude filling every cell. Healing comes alive when all senses are engaged. The more vividly you rehearse health, the more swiftly the body follows. Non-resistance is vital here too. Do not force healing, do not strain, do not clutch. Healing flows through rest, through trust, through surrender. Florence often said, man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. Speak words of health calmly as if they are already true. The body receives them as fact. Speak these gently like a balm. Every cell of my body shines with divine light. The perfect pattern of health is now restored in me. I release every false picture. I see only wholeness. My body is the temple of the living God, radiant and strong. Health begins in the unseen. Disease is but a false picture, a clouded film. Hold to the true real, the pattern of divine perfection. See it, feel it, affirm it until the body reflects it. Florence wrote, "Man must hold to the perfect picture of health and never rehearse sickness." So today, choose to rehearse vitality. Choose to see yourself glowing, strong, whole. The body is but the stage. The true healing begins in imagination. And when the curtain rises, you will see yourself restored to the radiant wholeness that was always yours. Florence Scovel Shinn's life was filled with testimonies, ordinary men and women who, through the power of imagination, faith, and divine order, turned despair into triumph. Each story is a living parable, reminding us that no situation is too far gone, no obstacle too great when the right picture is held within. A merchant once came to Florence in desperation. His business was failing, creditors circled, and he feared the shame of collapse. He had rehearsed failure so long that it seemed inevitable. Florence listened and then said firmly, "Stop rehearsing ruin. Begin rehearsing abundance. See your shop filled with customers. Speak the word, 'I give thanks that my supply is endless. My business thrives and all is well.'" The man obeyed. At first, it felt absurd. His shop stood empty. Yet he persisted. Each morning, he opened his doors and imagined streams of customers. He polished his counters as if expecting royalty. He spoke daily, "I give thanks for divine abundance. My business prospers under grace." Soon, a new client appeared, one who placed large and regular orders. Word spread and more followed. Within months, the merchant's business not only recovered, but flourished beyond its former state. His ruin had been rehearsed in imagination. His prosperity was rehearsed the same way. And by divine law, the new real projected outward. A woman longed for a home of her own, a place of beauty and peace. Yet her income was small, and her friends said it was impossible. She came to Florence, who asked, "Do you see your home in your imagination?" The woman admitted she had only been seeing lack, repeating, "I cannot afford it." Florence instructed her, "Write this decree, 'I give thanks for my beautiful right home, which comes to me under grace in perfect ways.' Then begin to imagine yourself walking through it. Each day, the woman rehearsed the scene. She pictured herself opening the door, smelling the fragrance of flowers in her garden, sitting by the window with sunlight pouring in. She spoke the decree with gratitude, as if it were already hers. Weeks later, she was offered a home at a price miraculously within her means. It was beyond what she had dared hope, more beautiful, more fitting than she had dreamed. The impossible became possible because she changed the real. A young student felt defeated. His grades were poor, his teachers doubted him, and he feared he would fail. Florence told him, "Stop rehearsing failure. See yourself as successful. Imagine yourself standing tall, your teachers praising you, doors of opportunity opening." The boy began each morning with a simple ritual. He looked in the mirror and declared, "I am guided. I am intelligent. I succeed with ease." He imagined himself receiving high marks, hearing words of encouragement, walking proudly across a stage of success. Slowly, his confidence grew. He studied with focus, no longer from fear, but from faith. His grades improved. Teachers noticed his change and encouraged him. Eventually, he gained entrance to the very institution he once thought out of reach. The difference was not luck, it was rehearsal. He rehearsed success until it became his living stage. Another woman came to Florence burdened by bitterness. Her relationships had soured and she felt abandoned. She clung to her resentment, rehearsing again and again the wrongs done to her. Florence said, "As long as you rehearse bitterness, you are bound to the past. Forgive and you free yourself. Release resistance and love flows again." The woman resisted at first. How could she forgive such pain? But finally, she agreed to practice. Each night, she whispered, "I forgive. I release. I see only love. I call divine harmony into my relationships." Soon, she noticed shifts. Old wounds softened. New friendships blossomed. Even strained family ties began to heal. She discovered what Florence always taught: forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom. It clears the real of shadows, allowing the light of love to project once more. Earlier, we spoke of the actress who imagined thunderous applause before she ever received it. Let us revisit her story in fuller detail. She was young, unknown, and poor. Each night, she fell asleep not in despair, but in rehearsal. She pictured herself stepping onto a grand stage. She felt the warmth of the spotlight, heard the orchestra swell, and most vividly, she heard the applause. Wave upon wave, echoing through the hall, her name on the lips of the crowd. At auditions, when doors slammed shut, she refused to rehearse rejection. She carried the sound of applause in her heart. Years later, when success came, it came swiftly. She stood on a stage exactly as she had imagined, with thunderous applause rolling toward her. She wept not in disbelief, but in recognition. She had lived it before in imagination. This is the power of rehearsal. The outer applause was only an echo of the applause she had long rehearsed within. Florence once told of another merchant, one who rehearsed fear instead of faith. He constantly declared, "Business is bad. Times are hard." He pictured decline, rehearsed ruin, and poured emotion into it. And life, faithful to his picture, brought him exactly what he rehearsed. His business collapsed. This story, though somber, holds a vital lesson: the law works both ways. It is not partial. Whatever picture you invest with emotion and faith, whether of abundance or ruin, must eventually externalize. The warning is clear: guard your real. Do not let fear write your script. A painter once dreamed of sharing her art with the world, but doubted herself. Her canvases gathered dust. Florence told her, "See your paintings loved. See people admiring them, desiring them, thanking you for them." The artist began to imagine exhibitions. She pictured walls filled with her work, visitors pausing in admiration, buyers carrying paintings home. She felt gratitude for her success before it appeared. Soon, opportunities opened. A gallery invited her to show her work. Sales followed. She realized her art had been waiting only for her to project a picture of appreciation. The world became her audience only after she became her own first believer. Do you feel the thread running through these stories? Whether it was money, home health, success, or love, the principle remained the same. A false picture was rehearsed. Fear, doubt, bitterness, or lack had filled the real. A new picture was chosen. Through imagination, decree, and faith, the real was changed. Emotion was invested. Gratitude, joy, or peace clothed the image. Faith held firm. They declared it as already done, refusing to waver. Non-resistance allowed the flow. They released the how and trusted God with the details. Manifestation arrived. The outer screen displayed what had long been rehearsed within. These are not ancient parables, they are invitations. The law that worked for the merchant, the student, the mother, the artist works for you. What picture are you rehearsing today? Is it ruin or restoration? Lack or abundance? Disease or radiant health? Loneliness or love? The stage is set. The curtain waits. Your reel is already turning. Choose today to replace the false film with the true one. Imagine vividly. Clothe it with gratitude. Stamp it with faith. Release resistance, and then watch as your own story of transformation unfolds. Speak these with the conviction of one whose story is already written in glory. I now rehearse only pictures of abundance, health, and joy. My story is one of victory, written by divine order. Every false picture dissolves. Only truth remains. I, too, am a living testimony of God's perfect law. Florence's legacy is not a philosophy of abstraction, but a living theater of transformation. Every story you heard today is proof that the law is real, practical, and unfailing. The merchant saved from ruin the woman who found her home, the student who succeeded the mother who prayed her son safe, the actress who rehearsed applause. All are reflections of what awaits when you align imagination with faith and release resistance. So let this not remain their story. Let it become yours. Today, begin rehearsing your own act of transformation. The divine stage manager stands ready. The orchestra is tuned. The audience of heaven leans forward. When the curtain rises, your miracle will walk into view. Beloved listener, we now arrive at the place where knowledge becomes practice, where philosophy becomes lived experience, where hearing transforms into doing. This is the heart of divine manifestation, the daily practice of imagination. For Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the imagination is the scissors of the mind, forever cutting the garment of life. And if we are to wear the garment of abundance, peace, and joy, we must cut it with the pictures we hold before our inner eye. Every day becomes a sacred opportunity to practice divine imagination. Each morning, each evening, and even in the very moments of challenge, we are invited to choose the picture we behold. The picture is the prophecy. The picture is the decree. The picture is the seed of tomorrow's harvest. When you awaken before your feet touch the floor, still in that holy space between dreaming and waking, begin your day by holding a picture of what you desire. Do not rise from your bed until you have painted in the canvas of your mind the divine picture you choose to live into. If you seek health, see yourself radiant, your body glowing with golden light, every cell singing the hymn of harmony. If you seek supply, see the bills paid, see your purse overflowing, see doors opening effortlessly. If you seek love, see yourself embraced, cherished, walking hand in hand in joy. And as you see it, speak it. Whisper Florence's decrees into the silence of the morning. I am divinely irresistible. What is mine by divine right comes to me now in perfect ways. Repeat, God's wealth is circulating in my life. I see it. I speak it. I know it. Let this be your morning bread, your daily manna. For the way you begin the morning sets the vibration for the day. The first picture you see will magnetize the hours that follow. And when the day is complete, as you lay your head upon the pillow, choose again the picture that will carry you into the fertile field of sleep. The subconscious is most receptive at this hour. What you picture before sleep is planted deep in the soil of your being, and the infinite tends it through the night. See yourself living the life you desire. See it in detail. If you dream of a home, walk through its door in your mind. Touch the banister. Smell the fragrance of flowers at the window. If you dream of health, see yourself rising strong, running with ease, laughing with freedom. And speak once more, I rest in divine order. I release this picture into infinite intelligence, and it is fulfilled now. This is the secret of evening practice. You release the picture, you let it go. You entrust it to the infinite. Sleep becomes a temple, and the dreams are the whisperings of answered prayers. But most importantly, beloved, divine imagination is not only for the serene hours of morning and evening, it is for the storm, the struggle, the sudden shock. When life seems to turn against you, when appearances shout lack, disease, or loss, that is the very moment when you must hold firm to the picture. Florence once told the story of a woman who faced continual financial difficulty. Each day, she would picture herself paying her rent easily, walking with a purse full of gold. She did this faithfully day by day in spite of appearances. For months, nothing seemed to change, but she persisted. She persisted when the bills mounted, when the cupboard was bare, when others said, "Give up." And then one morning, suddenly the channels opened. A forgotten investment paid out. Her rent was covered, her purse indeed full of gold. This is the power of persistence. The picture may not manifest instantly, but every day you hold it, you water it, you strengthen its roots in the invisible. So when trouble comes, stop, breathe. Close your eyes even for 1 minute. Refuse to see the problem. See instead the divine picture. If you receive a letter of demand, see instead a letter of supply. If you feel pain, see instead radiant health. If someone speaks against you, see instead peace, harmony, and love. Daily practice is rhythm. Morning, evening, and during challenge. Like the beating of the heart, like the tide of the sea, it carries you steadily toward demonstration. Do not despise the small moments. For each time you see the picture, each time you speak the decree, you add power, you add vibration, you add magnetism. Say with me now, I practice daily divine pictures. I see only the good. I hold only the truth. I persist, and my pictures are fulfilled in perfect ways. Let it echo. I practice daily divine pictures. I practice daily divine pictures. I practice daily divine pictures. Commit below with your very word, I practice daily divine pictures. For the spoken commitment seals the choice, and the choice creates the rhythm, and the rhythm shapes the destiny. Beloved, your daily practice is not a chore, not a duty. It is the very joy of creation. You are the artist of the unseen painting, with the colors of faith, imagination, and decree. Each morning, each evening, each trial, these are your canvases. And as you paint them, you will live them. The picture you practice becomes the life you live. Beloved, now that you have begun the practice of daily imagination, we rise into a higher octave of power, the joining of word and picture together. For Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the spoken word is a wand, and the imagination is the picture painted by that wand. When the two are joined, word and picture, there is no force in heaven or earth that can resist their manifestation. The imagination alone is a silent architect. The spoken word alone is a vibration sent forth. But when you clothe your picture with the decree, you weave the invisible into form. Word is the command. Picture is the form. Together, they are divine creation in action. Florence would often say, "Your word is your wand." But she also said, a picture held in the imagination backed by faith must be realized. When we unite these two, when the picture is spoken and the word is seen, the law of double power is activated. Think of it as electricity and magnetism. One without the other is partial, but together they create the current that moves the world. So if you hold before your mind a picture of supply and you speak, I see supply, I speak supply, I receive supply, you have doubled the power. You have summoned not only the image, but clothed it with the authority of command. Let us practice together, for practice makes the invisible real. Close your eyes for a moment. See before you a table spread with food abundant and overflowing. See yourself eating joyfully, laughing, nourished. Hold the picture, and now speak, I see divine supply. I speak divine supply. I receive divine supply now. Feel the power rise. Now imagine your body radiant, glowing with light, every cell in perfect harmony. Hold that picture. Speak aloud with me, I see radiant health. I speak radiant health. I receive radiant health now. And now imagine yourself embraced by love. Warm, tender, joyful companionship. Hold it close. Speak it forth, I see perfect love. I speak perfect love. I receive perfect love now. The law is the same in all areas. Picture plus word equals demonstration. Let us enter into a rhythm, for the rhythm builds vibration. Repeat after me, not only with your lips, but with your imagination engaged. I see supply. I speak supply. I receive supply. I see health. I speak health. I receive health. I see peace. I speak peace. I receive peace. I see joy. I speak joy. I receive joy. Do you feel how the rhythm builds? The mind responds to rhythm, and the subconscious absorbs it more deeply. Each repetition plants the seed, waters it, and brings it closer to bloom. Florence told of a man who longed for a certain business opportunity. He pictured it continually, but nothing seemed to open. Then one day, he read her decree. What is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in perfect ways. He began not only to picture himself in the position, but to speak the decree daily, coupling word and image together. Within weeks, the exact opportunity arrived, better than he imagined, more lucrative than expected. The spoken word clothed the picture, and the picture magnetized the opportunity. This is the secret of word and picture. The union creates power that appearances cannot resist. Whenever you practice imagination, add the spoken decree. When you picture wealth, say, I see wealth, I speak wealth, I receive wealth now. When you picture harmony in your home, say, I see harmony, I speak harmony, I receive harmony now. When you picture success in your work, say, I see success, I speak success, I receive success now. You are speaking not to the air, but to the infinite law. Your word sends forth the command. Your picture gives the command form. The law answers, so it is. And let me add, beloved, the third element, feeling. Picture, word, and feeling are the holy triad. When you see the picture, when you speak the decree, let yourself feel the joy, the gratitude, the certainty of its reality. This feeling seals the word and picture together with fire. See yourself wealthy, say the decree, and then feel the relief of bills, pay the joy of freedom, the peace of supply. See yourself healthy, say the decree, and then feel the energy coursing through you, the lightness of body, the laughter of freedom. Picture, word, and feeling, this is the full creative act. I see abundance. I speak abundance. I receive abundance. I see healing. I speak healing. I receive healing. I see joy. I speak joy. I receive joy. Beloved, this is the way. Each day, unite the picture and the word. Clothe your imagination with the decree. And as Florence declared, There is no reality in lack. Abundance is the only reality. So it is. Beloved soul, prepare now to enter into a sacred space, a holy practice of divine imagination, where abundance becomes not a hope, not a wish, but a present reality. You are about to walk in the garden of wealth, of freedom of supply, and you will find that you already dwell there. Settle yourself comfortably. If you can close your eyes, allow your breath to deepen. With every inhalation you draw in divine light. With every exhalation you release tension, fear, and doubt. Slowly, gently, you are entering the sanctuary of the inner world, where the invisible shapes the visible. Abundance begins not in the purse, nor in the bank, nor in the marketplace. Abundance begins here in the fertile soil of imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." And so now we see. Picture before you a doorway. It is radiant golden and inviting. Upon it are engraved the words, "Abundance by divine right." This doorway leads to your true estate, the land of more than enough, the life of overflowing supply. Step forward. Place your hand upon the golden handle. As you open the door, a flood of warm golden light spills out, wrapping around you like a robe. This is the light of divine supply, infinite and unfailing. Walk through the doorway. You are safe. You are provided for. You are entering the abundance that has always been yours. You find yourself in a garden of great beauty. The air is fragrant with blossoms of every kind. Fruit hangs heavy upon the branches, ripe, plentiful, waiting to be gathered. There is no lack here. Every tree bends under the weight of supply. Every flower blooms without effort. Walk slowly. See the colors: emerald green leaves, crimson blossoms, golden fruit. Hear the gentle rustle of the breeze, the songs of unseen birds. Feel the richness of the soil beneath your feet. This is your inheritance, a world of plenty. Now imagine that you reach out and pluck a piece of fruit. It is large, radiant, perfect. Hold it in your hand. This fruit represents your divine supply. As you eat, you taste sweetness, richness, fullness. It nourishes you deeply. With every bite, say within, "I already am supplied. I already have more than enough. I already live in abundance." Beyond the garden, you see a house, your house of abundance. Walk toward it. Its doors open wide to welcome you. As you enter, notice the beauty within. The floors shine, the rooms are filled with light, the table is spread with food. There are treasures here, not idle wealth, but the instruments of joy books, music, art, laughter. Walk through each room, see them furnished with what delights your soul. Every corner speaks of supply. Every wall hums with harmony. Say softly, "This is my home in spirit, and it manifests now in my outer world. I am divinely supplied in all ways." On a table, you see a purse. It is full of golden coins, shining endless. This is the purse of divine substance. Take it in your hands. Feel its weight, yet notice that it never empties. Each time you draw from it, it refills itself. This is the law of circulation. As you receive, you give. As you give, you receive. Supply is never ending, for God's wealth is infinite. Hold the purse to your heart and say, "I carry divine supply. My purse is full. My channels are open. God's wealth is circulating in my life." Feel the truth of it. Now see before you garments, beautiful clothing, perfectly tailored to you. They symbolize being clothed in abundance, robed in dignity, arrayed in divine provision. Put them on. As you do, feel your posture straighten, your heart lift. You are clothed in supply. Say gently, "I am clothed in abundance. I walk in wealth. I shine in divine provision." In the great hall of this house, a banquet is prepared. The table stretches wide, filled with food of every kind. Friends, loved ones, companions gather around. There is laughter, joy, and celebration. You are not alone in your abundance. You share it, and as you share it, multiplies. Take your seat at the head of the table. Before you is a place set with care, your plate, your cup, your feast. As you eat, you are nourished not only in body, but in soul. Say softly, I feast on divine abundance. My table is full. My cup overflows. My life is rich beyond measure. Hear the sound of abundance coins gently ringing, laughter bubbling, doors opening. Smell the fragrance of abundance, rich bread, baking roses in bloom, fresh rain on fertile soil. Feel the texture of abundance, smooth gold in your palm, silk upon your skin, the firm handshake of opportunity. See the colors of abundance, shimmering gold, deep green, radiant crimson, luminous white. Taste the flavor of abundance, sweetness on the tongue, richness that satisfies. All your senses testify abundance is here, abundance is real. Abundance is now. And now, beloved, let these words roll over you again and again like waves upon the shore. You already are abundant. You already have supply. You already live in wealth. You already dwell in plenty. You already are provided for. You already are rich in every good way. Say it softly, feel it deeply. I already am. I already have. I already live. Repeat until your heart accepts, until your mind yields, until your soul rejoices. See now a great treasury vaults without end, filled with jewels, gold, radiant treasures. This is the treasury of heaven, and its doors are open to you. A voice within whispers, all that I have is thine. You are not a beggar at the door. You are a rightful heir, a beloved child of infinite supply. Take what you need. It is yours by divine right. Say softly, I inherit the riches of spirit. All that I need, all that I desire, flows to me now. From the treasury flows a river, clear, sparkling, abundant. It winds through the land, through your garden, through your home, through your life. This river is the circulation of wealth. It flows into you and out from you, blessing others and returning multiplied. Stand at its banks, dip your hands into its waters, drink, feel the life force of supply flow through you. Say with joy, I live in the river of divine circulation. Wealth flows to me, through me, and from me in endless good. Beloved, see yourself now, standing tall, radiant, free. In your hand is the purse of gold. On your body are the garments of plenty. Before you stretches the garden of supply. Around you are loved ones celebrating at the banquet table. Behind you is the treasury of heaven, open and inexhaustible. Beneath you flows the river of circulation. Above you shines the golden light of divine provision. This is your true picture. This is your divine reality. This is the abundance you already live. Say with finality, I am abundance. I am supply. I am wealth. I am joy. I am peace. I am free. And so it is. Beloved one, we now step into another sacred chamber of divine imagination, healing, and peace. For what is abundance without health to enjoy it? What is wealth without peace to dwell within it? Florence Scovel Shinn proclaimed, man's body is the temple of the living God, and every atom is in divine order. You are about to walk into that temple to see it radiant, strong, perfect. Take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, and as you do, imagine breathing in golden light, warm, pure healing. Exhale gently and release tension, fear, and doubt. Each breath carries you deeper into peace. Each breath aligns you with the divine perfection already present in your body and your mind. Imagine above your head a radiant sun of pure golden light. This is the light of divine life, eternal, unfailing, always shining. As you breathe, this light begins to pour down like a stream of liquid gold, entering through the crown of your head. Feel it flowing gently, tenderly, washing every cell. It moves into your forehead, releasing worry, into your eyes, clearing your vision, into your throat, soothing your voice, into your heart, calming its rhythm, into your hands, bringing strength, into your entire body, filling you with vitality. This golden light knows exactly where to go. It dissolves every shadow, every discord, every illusion of disease. It whispers to every cell, you are whole, you are well, you are perfect now. Repeat softly, I am bathed in divine light. I am whole, I am well, I am perfect now. Now imagine that beneath you flows a river. Its waters are clear, shimmering with shades of blue and silver. This is the river of peace. Step into it. Feel the coolness wash over your feet, then your legs, then your whole being. The river carries away all anxiety, all tension, all unrest. You do not need to hold on to burdens. The river takes them gently, lovingly, carrying them into the sea of divine forgetfulness, where they dissolve forever. Float in this river. Let its current rock you gently like a child in the arms of love. Say softly, I release all care, I release all fear. I flow in the river of peace. Step now from the river onto the banks of a garden. This garden is unlike any you have seen. Every plant glows with light, every flower hums with harmony. This is the garden of healing. Walk slowly. Breathe in the fragrance of lavender, rose, jasmine, each scent soothing, calming, uplifting. Reach out and touch a leaf. Feel its softness, its vitality, its strength. Notice a great tree at the center of the garden. Its trunk is strong, its roots deep, its branches wide. This is the tree of life. Sit beneath it. Rest your back against its trunk. Feel its strength supporting you, its life force flowing into you. From root to branch, from earth to sky, it connects you with the infinite. Say within, I am rooted in divine life. I am strong, I am steady, I am whole. Now see above you a shaft of golden white light descending from the heavens. It is focused, radiant, like a beam of love itself. It shines directly upon you, penetrating every layer of your being, body, mind, and spirit. Wherever there has been pain, the light dissolves it. Wherever there has been fatigue, the light restores energy. Wherever there has been unrest, the light establishes calm. You are being renewed, cell by cell, thought by thought, breath by breath. Say softly, the light of God fills me. The life of God restores me. The peace of God enfolds me. Florence once told of a woman who had long battled illness. Doctors gave little hope. But she began to practice divine imagination, seeing herself radiant, walking with ease, clothed in light. She repeated daily, I am a perfect idea in divine mind, and I am always in my right place, doing my right work. At first, appearances did not change, but she persisted. She held the picture she spoke, the decree she lived, as though health were already hers. And one day, she awoke with strength. Her body responded to the picture she had faithfully painted. She lived on in vigor, proving that imagination and decree call forth the perfection already present. So it is for you. You are not waiting for healing. You are uncovering the wholeness that already is. Now step into a chamber, quiet and serene. Its walls are white, glowing faintly with golden light. In the center is a cushion. Sit here. This is the chamber of stillness, the sanctuary of peace within you. Here no voice of worry can enter. No shadow can intrude. Only the still, small voice of spirit is heard, and it whispers, "Be still and know that I am God." Rest here. Let the silence embrace you. Let peace sink deep into your soul. Say within, "I am still. I am at peace. I know that I am whole." Hear the sound of peace, the gentle flow of the river, the soft rustling of leaves, the silence of stillness. Smell the fragrance of healing blossoms, herbs, fresh rain. Feel the texture of peace, the smoothness of light, the softness of petals, the warmth of golden rays. Every sense confirms it. You are healed. You are at peace. You are whole. Let these words echo within you like waves lapping upon the shore. I already am whole. I already am strong. I already am radiant. I already am at peace. I already am well. I already am perfect in divine mind. Say it gently, feel it deeply. I already am. I already am. I already am. See yourself now rising from the garden, from the river, from the chamber. You stand tall, radiant, glowing with golden light. Around you flows peace like a gentle river. Within you burns health like a steady flame. You are clothed in light, embraced by peace, upheld by strength. This is your true picture. This is your reality. This is your divine perfection. Say with finality, "I am whole. I am well. I am radiant. I am peace. I am divine life in perfect expression." And so it is. Beloved, we now arrive at the great seal of this journey, the closing picture, the triumphant decree, the picture of victory. For we have walked through daily practice, through the union of word and image, through the gardens of abundance, through the rivers of peace. And now we gather all these threads together and weave them into one garment, the garment of victory. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "There is no chance in this world. Man's word and man's picture shape his life. When he sees divine order, he lives divine order." And so our task now is to hold firmly the picture of victory, to clothe it with our decree, and to walk forward in triumph. Picture yourself on a great hill. At your back lies the land of trials, doubts, and appearances. Before you stretches the horizon of promise, golden and radiant. You stand at the crest, tall, unwavering, clothed in light. The wind rushes past, carrying away the remnants of fear, of lack of disease. You raise your hands and the sun bursts through the clouds. Golden beams fall upon you, and you are radiant in their glow. In this moment, you know you have already won. The victory is not in some far-off day. It is now. Say with power, "I see divine order. I live divine order. I am victorious now." Beloved, the imagination is your fortress. Guard it well. For the world may offer pictures of fear, of conflict, of limitation, but you do not receive them. You choose your picture daily, hourly, moment by moment. Florence warned, "Fear is inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good." So when the picture of fear tries to enter, cast it out. Replace it instantly with the picture of victory. If lack appears, see instead abundance. If sickness whispers, see instead health. If conflict rises, see instead peace. Say with determination, "I guard my imagination. I see only victory. I picture only good." Every warrior of spirit is clothed in armor, not of steel, but of decree. Your words are your shield, your sword, your defense, your triumph. When appearances rise against you, speak boldly. There is no reality in this illusion. I see divine order. I decree divine order. I live divine order now. Let your decree cut through the fog of appearances like a blade of light. Let your word stand like a fortress unshakable. Say it now. My word is my wand. My decree is my defense. I speak victory, and victory is mine. See yourself now descending the hill into the land of promise. Each step is strong, steady, sure. With each step, the ground blossoms with flowers. With each step, doors swing open. With each step, companions join your side. You march not as one seeking victory, but as one who has already won. The picture of victory goes before you, and the decree of triumph echoes behind you. Say with joy, I walk in triumph. I live in victory. I manifest divine order in every step. In your hands, you carry a banner. It is white, shimmering with gold. Upon it is written peace, abundance, joy. You lift it high, and the world sees it. Wherever you walk, this banner declares your truth. You live under divine law, and divine law always fulfills. Say boldly, my banner is victory. My life declares peace, abundance, joy. Let us now seal this practice with the rhythm of repetition, the hammer that drives the nail of truth deep into the subconscious. Repeat with me, I see divine order. I speak divine order. I live divine order. I see abundance. I speak abundance. I live abundance. I see peace. I speak peace. I live peace. I see joy. I speak joy. I live joy. I see victory. I speak victory. I live victory. Again, stronger, I see divine order. I speak divine order. I live divine order. Until your whole being vibrates with it, until every cell hums with it, until every breath carries it. Beloved, see now your life as a great tapestry. Every thread of abundance, every ray of healing, every note of peace, every decree of power is woven together. And at the center shines the picture of victory, radiant, unshakable, eternal. This is your reality. This is your inheritance. This is your life. Say with finality, I see divine order. I live divine order. I manifest peace, abundance, joy, and victory now. And so it is. If you have felt this truth rise within you, if you choose today to hold the picture of victory, I invite you to seal it with a simple act of commitment. Comment 1 if you choose to see divine order daily. Comment 2 if you choose to speak divine order boldly. Let your number be your decree, your banner, your seal. Beloved, you have walked the full path. You have learned the daily practice of divine imagination. You have joined word and picture in double power. You have entered the gardens of abundance, the rivers of peace, the chambers of healing. And now you have sealed it all in the picture of victory. Carry this picture with you always. Guard it, decree it, live it. And you will see that life is not chance, but divine demonstration. You are victorious. You are radiant. You are free. And so it is.